I'm curious how, so if they're in a traditional kind of monogamous relationship, how do they start opening up to the conversations or expressing, or what framework do you suggest or do you use with people for those conversations or expression of desires? Because I know that can be super tender and vulnerable if it's like something they've been holding in, even if it's with their long-term and stable partner.
Oh, it's incredibly true, because so it's so interesting, Kristen, like what we see in conflict conversations and in research on conflict, that if a couple's having conflict about anything, like not sex, just anything, just argument, day to day, not getting
Hmm.
along, there's three threats that come up. One threat to one person, the other person, and then the threat to like the relationship,
Mm.
right? But what's super interesting about sex and about sexual intimacy is if it's a non-sex thing, all three of those threats are kind of equal. But if it's regarding sex, there's one of those three threats that is substantially more, which is the threat to the individual, which basically means if my partner and I have a conversation about sex, like without training, what tends to happen is I am most interested in protecting myself. He is most interested in protecting himself. So everybody is on guard because we're all trying to protect ourselves.
Mm.
And so it's really difficult. And we'll talk about what to do here and answer your question. But it is really difficult because there is this natural tendency, for the ego to get so impacted because we're all trying
Hmm.
to protect ourselves. And I theorize sometimes, and other people in the sex field too, theorize that maybe there's this like evolutionary reason for it around like innately the subconscious knows that if we are not doing this right, we might not procreate and spread our seed and all those things. And maybe that's true, maybe it's not. But regardless, what I do believe is true for a lot of people is that threat to themselves. So
Mm.
that's something we have to go into and really be aware of.
I'm Kristen Birdwell, and this is Sex, Drugs,